noticed.
Noticed.
Hello. Hi.
What's up, bud?
Hi. Hi. Hello. Sorry, just a second. I couldn't help but notice your Baskin Robbins background.
Really, a Baskin Robbins?
I asked in the middle of in the tweet. I was like, "Why is your picture Baskin Robbins?" I was mostly confused. I'm not at all upset.
It really is straight on your end. It's backwards on mine.
It's why it's so weird.
It looks fine to me.
Don't worry, guys. Big Doc Energy is sponsored by
Baskin Robbins. Hell yeah!
Hopeful soon to be sponsored.
Well, a boy could dream.
Which is why Jared is broadcasting live on location.
Damn.
Guys, we're role playing today from the parking lot of a Baskin Robbins. It's fucking cold out.
I can't imagine. You sure you want ice cream?
I always want ice cream.
Hey, you know what? We got DiGiorno's on Twitch. You think we could get Baskin Robbins?
You know what?
We get ice cream.
I've seen Taco Bell and Tostinos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
DiGiorno too. I have no doubt the Baskin Robbins will join the game.
I mean, speedrunning community's trying to get Folgers, so.
Hey, Wendy's, if you want to sponsor me, I'll burn this motherfucker down.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, you likely have to do like the 50 nug challenge. So, I mean, if you're down for it.
Listen, have you not seen the fact that I bought 100 before?
No. Did you eat them all?
Yeah, I ate them all.
Oh, wow. Did you?
I would die, but I got to get in on that.
Hold on, I gotta see if I still have the picture on my phone.
I'm sorry for your bathroom, man.
It was worth it.
You always spend the night at somebody else's house after an eating challenge. Come on.
Good point. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Damn it. Well, guys, it's been a little while. This is technically our second week in, and man, it's our session 3. So you guys, this is your last opportunity to kind of finalize your characters, get everything done. That
I put it in the group.
Rerolling an elf druid right now. Same story.
Things that I don't want for 1,000 Alex. That's so many nuggets. Holy shit.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I gotta get in on that.
I know, bro. Like, what the...
So I went to go order it because I had saw one of my buddies I was like, yeah, I went to Wendy's and they ordered 50 nuggets and they were like, oh man, you know, they looked at me weird. So I was like, all right, I'll do double. So I went in and they actually did a double take. They were like, excuse me. The manager had to come out and was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm very sure.
How long did it take you to eat
You're
them?
gonna die. You're gonna...
That's so many nuggets.
Did you eat, like, you ate 100 nuggets in one sitting?
I mean, it took me 2 days, but it was worth it.
Okay, no, that's different.
Oh, it took them 20 minutes to make it. I thought you ate it in 20 minutes, and I was like, how are you still here?
I feel
how
like
are you
that would be just like one, like you're feeding them in as they're coming out. Like, I don't know how
I
else.
feel like that ends with doctors pulling a very large one single chicken nugget out of you in an ER.
Oh, not out! Not out!
That moment when you shove 100 in and it's just like chicken squawking on the way out. It's just...
They turn back into sentient beings.
Oh no, that's horrifying. Speaking of chicken squawking, Pilakka, you know how many times I've heard your like it has been clipped, gifted, sound clipped. It's everywhere.
Is it really?
Yes.
I need this.
Really?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely a thing.
I did not know that.
Gonna be on that. Oh yeah, they fucking love the chicken squawking. Yeah, Christy can get that. She can probably get a link for it. I've heard so much of it, and it's probably amongst the highlights of if not this game, then probably all of my streaming experiences together. So thank you for that.
Can I offer a little bit of background to the chicken squawking? Which is probably not a natural sound that a crowfolk would make, but they would tend to repeat sounds. They're not like Kinku where they can only repeat sounds, but they still might repeat sounds naturally as their ancestral crows do.
Spend a lot of time in a chicken farm.
She might have raised chickens for like sacrifices or just food, and she probably just is mimicking a sound that she has once heard.
Wow. Well, you've done an impressive job. I think there isn't a character that I think is generally very weak at all. I think you guys are all exceptionally impressive. People have gotten a really stern feel for how you react in most situations, and when asked, someone's like, "Oh man, I really like Neferani." Like, "Oh yeah, but Jammara is like I'm super excited to see her just roast someone." It's like, and Abasi he dead. Like he dead.
Wait a minute. Let's not gloss over that or anything. Just, oh, we doing good. Oh, it's cool. I won the lottery. Oh, I'm going to vacation. This motherfucker got shot. Wait.
Yeah. The thing is, nobody's sure if you are going to be in trouble courtesy of your own actions being found. Or
nobody even knows if I'm fucking evil or not yet.
And nobody's sure if Donkor is going to sell you down the river.
I mean...
It's a lot of money.
He's still thinking about it.
It's a lot of money. It's going to be good. I mean, I guess, let's start with, how are you guys doing, man? You guys excited for tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Missed you last week. I think a lot of people missed you last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, life happens. It happens fast, but I'm going to make the most of it, and we're here now. Moving forward, let's see if you guys have hit a mile marker so I can unlock a luck reroll. You guys are 2 subs away from your first luck reroll, which is cool. It's a lot of fun. And, yeah, let's talk about what happened last time. What was last session like?
Abasi crab walked away.
Also, another popular clipped GIF. Someone, I think, even put you under the ocean with other crabs and a GIF. Yeah, like not even joking. I'll have to look for it, but I think that's also there. Yes, Zoidberg.gif. Yes. Yeah. Aside from the crab walking, why? Like, what's happened? What's going on in the town that's caused such a ruckus?
At this point, I don't have my book with me, but it was a Scarab Heart, I think is the name. Just so happened to find Donkor while everyone was walking together, and Abasi was right behind him. It was like, "Have you seen Abasi?" And almost noticed him while they were walking.
Yeah. Jammara and Donkor, you guys met Abasi's father, and unwittingly, he didn't really seem like that bad of a guy, to be honest.
He's a dickhead.
Yeah, no,
I thought you should know. He's a dickhead.
Right? I don't know. My memory sucks.
Alleged.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah.
It's more so like for us that story. Our characters still don't know that yet.
Correct. You tied some things together as he introduced himself.
My character doesn't know. It gets confusing.
There's a lot. There's a lot of little strings constantly being pulled in all directions. So yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of information thrown at you, and you're just gonna have to judge through it.
It also gets really hard not to metagame. Like if I were to sit here right now and go, I killed everyone. I burned down an entire village. I murdered children and orphans and babies. Whether or not that's true, you would not trust me as a player for anything after that.
This is accurate.
Thank you for that example.
But it's not as cut and dry as that, You certainly have there are reasons that you've done some of the things that you've done, and sure, you had blood on your hands, but there is a reason that happened. I think we can discover these things. So, Donkor and Jammara met Abasi's alleged father. He introduced himself as a scarab hide, which Abasi has declared that he was also a scarab hide, and he at least knows that someone looking for him is in town. Yes. What else happened? What else did you guys discover and figure out?
When they were in the bank, they found another NPC.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Donkor wasn't there for that.
With the hat.
Oh, what was
That was you attacking a high-level NPC for shit and getting away with the skin of your teeth.
Oh, that's right.
Listen.
Oh, I intimidated an old man for no reason.
You did.
I forgot about that.
You did, in fact.
Well, I was from an out of character perspective, right? From it, I feel like I would be already very protective of this group, and he sounded like he was making fun of us. So I immediately got like, when the cat's like,
Yeah.
He raised your hackles.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely did.
I had to hackle up.
Well,
Good.
the one that I met did not give me her name. Pointedly did not give me her name, and Pilakka recognized her garb as being from Absalom Galarian, and we had a little exchange. Pilakka offered her services, and she said she was just here to plunder the tombs. So she's somebody we might meet later on, maybe cross paths, but also maybe not at all.
Definitely. She's certainly a player in the story. You wouldn't have gained as much information about her had that not been the situation.
We also can't forget that Jammara doesn't know who Jammara is anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. You found out that your last name is of nobility, but the noble that you spoke to that happened to share the last name as you declared, no, you are not Anorak. It's just, it cannot be. Now, whether there is truth to that is to be determined, but you borderline accepted as truth right in that moment. You had a bit of a moment there. You were like, well, if I'm not an Anorak, then who the fuck am I? What happened?
Yeah. I know. Exponential. Yep. Crisis.
A crisis of sorts, yes, definitely.
Yep. This is definitely a crisis. We had a crisis. When don't I have a crisis?
Well, hopefully not the entire time. I hope that it falls more to the shoulders of one that doesn't really have hackles raised too much of, like Pilakka. Pilakka is very stern to motivate. I've gone over your background with intense detail, a magnifying glass, seriously looking over every detail, the way that you wrote everything, and I think it's going to be really interesting trying to motivate her most of all, because she is mostly unmotivatable unless there are trappings, bounty, history, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to be super interesting there for that. Neferani, you, aside from defending your crew, the Donk squad, if you will.
Gets better.
Yeah, it gets better. You've been witnessing some of these things. You've seen Abasi hold these secrets to himself and nearly sweat at every corner. He's hid behind buildings. He's tucked himself literally into corners, hidden away. He's clutched onto his weapon. He's certainly a man that's being chased. And despite your best attempts, he doesn't really seem to release a whole lot. Do you think that this is this raising any red flags? Is this something that should be of concern to Neferani?
No. It should. Like, Misty thinks it should.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. There you go. Well.
Camera's changed.
What'd you break?
Sorry, did that break anything?
It did.
Look, we're playing
switched
musical
cameras.
windows.
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
I'm Pilakka now!
I'm a dwarf! Everything's terrible!
I demand you bring me the bird seed in the books!
That might be
like
fun.
this.
Just so often.
That's good to know.
Okay.
All right.
So when I out of character, it's like red, like 3-alarm fire, but in character, she's so excited to be on an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's someone who she has accepted. So foibles and all, she feels like he just needs some help, and he's in an unfamiliar place. And once we get adventuring, she'll find out more, but she hasn't, at least now, she's kind of on like, all go, no stop. I want to get in that necropolis because this is my best chance. So she's kind of maybe ignoring some base instincts, but she's also looking at the good, right? Until she sees a reason to look at the bad.
Okay. Anything else you feel like we may have just glanced over? Anything that you feel like should be addressed in the backstory here? All right, fair enough. Your silence is golden and loud enough for me. upon your exit from the bank, you were given 2 tokens. These were basically the equivalent of like a wooden nickel that was inscribed for your draft of the lottery. You will be called appropriately when it happens. I gave you guys the opportunity to define anything that you may need for your journeys ahead, and that tomorrow the event will be called before you. You guys will be called ahead, and hopefully, if all goes well, if a particular company did their job, you guys will wind up in a tomb of sorts, or into a various chamber that you guys can find information.
I would also like to point out at this point, I think still very few of us understand how this lottery actually worked, and keep saying that we won it.
Everybody wins it. The lottery is where you end up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I made the same mistake a couple times last.
Oh, I did when we first started, but when I heard him finally explain that when we were making fun of that poor son of a bitch about Big Donk Energy, that's when it all finally clicked, and I went, whether or not we get a good place is the lotto.
That's the lottery. There are, I mean, you're going into a large portion of this walled off area. You may just get stuck adventuring to like a temple, just something very simple, like some walls not even fully walled in, a destroyed roof, or you may get the largest tomb in the area. Just depends. There are several locations, correct.
Like a little kiddie pool full of murky water and like an aboleth or something.
Yeah.
But realistically, who the hell is watching us to know that we stayed in our zone and didn't go to somebody else's zone?
Good point.
I should probably... Do you think if I gave the guy the eyes, he would,
give us a good spot?
Right?
Maybe.
Well, there is a particular lady that has informed you guys that you will be drafted, you'll be given a location, and you will be searching for a specific item or items. So, the lottery is sort of rigged in your favor at this point.
Oh.
Well, she said that she hired a bunch of crews, and we didn't exactly put on the best of fronts. We might not be in the
True story.
the
True
best.
story.
See, and then, I mean, out of character, like, Donkor still doesn't believe that, but he's still, like, he's skeptical because he still knows the name. He's like, well, they definitely could have hired multiple groups. So,
Can you guys
They gotta
recall
play.
the name of the company that had hired you?
the Absur Consortium, I think?
Yes, the
Something like
Aspis Consortium.
Aspis Consortium.
How do you guys
There you
remember
go.
this stuff?
They write stuff down. I'm just standing here like an idiot listening.
Yeah, I don't know where my book is. Like,
Yeah.
I have my pen.
I would not be able to remember that without having written it down. And my notes don't help because they're not organized in the link.
Oh, no, I don't need
No
that.
one took notes
I have,
from
it's just like a name and then a line.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if you ever find that you want a name or you need like a specific spelling, don't hesitate to ask, because I can definitely give that to you. But yeah, it's the Aspis Consortium, and what is their role? What do they do?
They make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make money based off of everybody else making money. They basically hire thieves to go do their dirty work.
Definitely.
They're like
they're privateers.
they're like Cerberus out of Mass Effect.
You know, never played Mass Effect, so yeah.
Guys, I can't finish this campaign.
I gotta go now.
This would be a bad time to tell you I haven't ever cracked it either.
It's coming. It's coming this year. I'll be jumping into the Mass Effect series, and I'll be playing through it for the very first time. I just
They're great. Yeah.
started and beat all of BioShock this month already.
See, I'm happy. I'm happy for you that though.
So I assume what they do is they hire rubes to plunder tombs for them, and then they find buyers for that, and they move goods legally or illegally.
Correct. Yeah, you nailed it. That's what they do. A lot of it is dealing in just inside of the law, enough so that they don't draw enough attention to themselves. But they're good at what they do, and they grease the wheels. Coin makes everything shift appropriately. It makes this world go round. So, the floor is open. The story is yours up to this point. You have just acquired your tokens, and you have effectively applied, with effective sponsorship, into the lottery. You guys are good to go. From here, you have a 1-day time before the announcement in the commencement ceremony of the opening of the Necropolis itself.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to read the text.
No problem. No problem at all. So if there's anything that you guys wanted to tackle or take care of, I know that some story is coming out for each of you. Jammara, you have some things hanging with your family that is still kind of important to you. Pilakka, you're really still not entirely sure what's happening in this tale and why you've been guided here, courtesy of your what do you call it? Your cauldron has given you some details.
Yeah, we've seen some visions.
Yeah.
Me and Gidak, and Pilakka suspects that if she follows this group, she's not sure what fate awaits this group. She just knows that it promises to be enlightening.
Definitely. And Abasi, you're literally a man hunted at this point.
Yeah, and a man close to betrayal too. It's going to be great.
Correct. Correct. So now that we've had some recap and a little bit of downtime in between sessions, the floor is yours. You guys have it. You can do whatever with it you like at this point. You guys still technically have rooms at the Tooth and Hookah. You could go see Toothy if you'd like to. A little miniature gator.
Need more supplies.
Need more supplies. That's right.
Would the keeper of the tavern, I don't recall his name at the moment, object to Pilakka setting out like a ritual circle in like a corner or like in somewhere in the common room?
He would probably explain that it would be important for you to clean up after yourself, but it wouldn't be an issue.
She nods and then just sets about her work and starts trying to divine things. She's just kind of like reading the area.
Okay. Would you guys be okay with going back, or did you want to seek consort elsewhere?
So I think at this point, Pilakka wants to go back already. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we still at the bank?
Yeah, you guys were just exiting.
Okay, my bad then. Then I'm just kind of hobbling along with the group.
I would probably suggest going back because I want to make some coin.
Start a bankroll.
That's the thing. We need some fire. We need some bombs. We need some rail. What, are you not going into a hole on your own, are you?
Yeah, I do quite agree. I do quite agree at this point. We do need supplies, so maybe we should split up here.
Who's
Who's
not know
buying?
what awaits us. I will see what I can.
Sounds good. I don't need anything, and I don't have any money. So, is there a bath at the Tooth and Hookah? I want to have a bath.
It's not the equivalent of like an actual tub, but yes, you are given the proper amount of water, heated or cool, your preference, the proper linen, and you can bathe yourself.
Yay!
You're not gonna have an enormous tub or anything like that, but yes, it is available for you.
I don't know what else I'd do. Sauning.
Yeah. So, as you exit the bank, each of you deciding to go your own ways or heading back to the Tooth and Hookah. You are accosted by the sun as it beats down upon you. It is still early afternoon at this point, and you have much of the day before you. Much of the day to determine whatever it is that you need to. Find any goods, belongings, seek out people to assist you in your journey.
I would go back to the Tooth and Hookah and perform a little bit to get some money because I don't have any. I think I have my sheet. What was left on my sheet was basically nothing, and I spent most of it getting rooms and greasing palms.
Sure.
That didn't really need it, but you know.
Okay, all right. How long would you intend on performing?
I would say I'd probably perform until I got like another 5 gold, so probably like a half an hour, like not very long, just enough to kind of.
Okay, let's see. Actually, hit me with a perform.
Okay.
And then a profession.
Perform and then a profession. Let me find this on my sheet. Perform.
That's very good. And profession.
not as good.
Yikes! Yeah. So you are no less talented or exhibit the same skill and trade that you've offered thus far to anyone inside of the Tooth and Hookah. You know, you've come out banging. You brought the tunes, and the people enjoy it. The problem is that people are saving their coin with the Necropolis opening. So many people are taking private investment in stock. Maybe they're trying to grease up their own palms to secure that they get the proper tomb, moving into their own channels. We'll say that you were able to net... you were able to net 2 gold and 6 silvers. So close to half of what you needed.
That's fine. I would probably be okay with that after. So I don't want to spend. I just needed something to because I had nothing. Something to spend so I could get some stuff.
And that's far more of a fair wage at this point. Even for an half an hour of investment, you've accumulated a large sum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Abasi.
Yes.
Where are you going, lad?
The bossy needs to do some shopping.
Okay.
Donkor will follow Abasi at this point.
All right. I like that. So, will you be leading Donkor, knowing that Abasi is still relatively new to town?
Well, it seems to me that you're new to this place, and I seem to know a couple of the merchants here. What is it you like to buy?
Well, I need quite a few things. I need some charcoal, some paper, maybe a small fishing hook. I could use some more oil, that's for sure.
I could use some more oil myself. You know, I think we can go to the bazaar here. We might be able to find some good deals there.
That's not such a bad idea. I mean, what are the odds I run into the same dwarf twice in one day?
You know, hopefully you don't. I would rather not have another conversation.
He's not exactly a nice man.
Abasi.
No, I'm sure he'll pour honey into your ear. Yeah.
Give me a sense motive.
Ooh, boy, this could be fun. I was just looking through my items. I got to get back to my my senses.
Sure. Abasi, you kind of get this feeling that there may be something lingering in the way that Donkor describes. He's like, yeah, we wouldn't want that. Almost as if there is some truth to that, and maybe a bit more. You see that honesty traces over his face, but you can almost never trust a merchant.
Well, and Abasi can't trust much of anybody right now, so he's extra on guard.
Yeah.
His head's been on a swivel since he got here. He's just trying to go through what he needs in the back of his mind, but
Right.
That's because he doesn't know yet if he can trust his party, so he wants to be ready for any situation so that if push comes to shove, there's a way out.
Definitely. Yeah, you definitely get the sound of uncertainty coming from Donkor.
Donkor would be completely uncertain in this because he's still trying to give his party the benefit of the doubt because he just kind of got through together with this group of people, and he's like, you know what, we're going into the Necropolis together. He needs them, but now there's this large sum.
True, and you don't really know Abasi from any other random person out there, so it's kind of scary, all things considered. You don't really know if you're walking into a situation where you have a murderer in tow, and it's going to cost you the lives of your allies or yourself even.
Yeah. So Donkor would then begin to just do a slight nod and then to go, well, then let's go on our way. Sorry, I'm tripping over my own words here.
It'll be fun, lad. Half the time I don't even know where I'm from. After you.
All right, then.
Gotta make sure he keeps him right in front of him.
Has Pilakka left with the Bongo Cat Neferani?
Bongo Cat.
Or did you witness this exchange?
Me, I'm sure I'm back at the Tooth and Hookah.
So my question to Bub would be: have I already gone back to the tavern as I said, or in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
you likely would have followed Neferani at this point. She did discuss that she wanted to go back. She
Okay.
was itching to make a little bit of extra cash. So that's certainly the case.
Sure. Okay, then I'm just if I had witnessed that exchange, she definitely would have followed out of curiosity. But instead, I'm just going to start setting up the ritual circle that I described earlier, just like a circle of salt, maybe somewhere as unobvious as possible, inobvious as possible. But I guess that's pretty hard.
Okay. So stacking up in the corner, making your ritual circle completed, you can commence to whatever hexes or spell preparation that you possibly need. You find the silence is nice. Your allies haven't returned up to this point. Neferani is probably downstairs. She likely will be for the next half hour or so, trying to glean some coin from the regular attendees. You know that Abasi and Donkor have meagered off into the market. And what is Jammara doing?
Jammara is heading back to the Tooth and Hookah.
Okay. And what is your goal there?
My goal is to relax before a battle.
And you're going to do some cleaning of sorts.
Yeah, I don't feel like convincing people to give me more supplies because I have no gold, so.
Okay.
It'd have to be like convincing. I think you can't go to the stall with no gold, so yeah.
Perfect. All right, so
Yeah. It's like if somebody didn't have a lot of gold here.
No, Tomorrow makes money, so I'm just rude. I don't know.
Don't worry, we don't know how Jammara makes money either.
It's just broke as fuck and she's taking a bath.
Jammara's never really worried about making money, right? Like it's never been much of a concern.
Not till now.
No, and that would be completely fair because she's.
The shops.
You don't overheat, so you don't have to worry about sweating your ass off in the middle of the desert because of your race. Everywhere you go, people fawn over you, so they're like, can I buy you want dinner? Can I? Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do we know that she makes fire?
That all the time.
I don't think we know yet.
Well, I was just wondering if we could tell from her race.
Well, you're not entirely sure that she's capable of making fire per se, but the way that her hair moves, it's constantly, even if you're in a closed off room, her hair moves like there's a breeze, like a flame itself.
Could I roll a knowledge of some kind to see if I know
Sure. Do you
what
have
she's?
knowledge history, knowledge planes, potentially knowledge local?
I've got planes.
Yeah, no, this is entirely so. She doesn't really look like a regular person. I mean, she exhibits a lot of the traits. You know, she's got 2 legs, 2 arms, and all of the appropriate parts. But what she is more akin to the Jinn. She is borderline elemental of sorts. So she's either genie by nature, or she is elemental bloodline, and whatever that happens to be at this point. Your best guess is that it's Afridi. It's fire elemental.
Well, because we're going out to buy supplies, and she just pointed out again that she doesn't really have any money, so why buy supplies? And if Abasi is frugal and forward-thinking into whatever dangerous situation they could be going into that he should be, that he would probably be thinking about making sure that everybody's got a little bit of something, and he does still have a bit of gold on him.
Okay.
Just to make sure that the party doesn't walk in and go, oh shit, undead! Go away!
Okay. Here's my second dilemma. I have no clue what the heck we're gonna need in these places. Like I've never.
That's why because I'm assuming that you guys would still be preparing after coming back from the Tooth and Hookah, so you could decide then.
Okay. That's fair. So now, I feel like I want to sidle away to Donkor, my main man Donkor. D for Big Donk.
No, I am here. How are you?
Perfect, my friend. I'm doing well, and I feel like this is an opportunity for us to kind of get a feel for the Donk himself. Donkor. You find yourself at the crossroads of detail. You don't often meet the Pamet. You just don't. It's not commonplace.
No,
Now
no,
you've
it's
met
not.
2. One of which has relied on you to guide him around to a degree, and has more than relied on you to keep him safe and away from the other. The other has expressed to you that the one he's searching for is a murderer, and there is a healthy bounty on his head. Now, as a merchant, and one who's been stockpiling coin for a very, very long time, you find yourself in a bit of a precarious situation. You walk with Abasi, meandering from stall to stall, making sure that he can get what he needs, and Abasi talks back to you about, maybe we should find things for Jammara, or she said she's never done this before. Is she prepared for this? What should we get her? And you can see the type of character that he actually is. Maybe he's being expressly careful for himself, or perhaps he's actually genuine, and that he's looking out for the best interest of the group. Do you judge a man here for the deeds or the misdeeds that have been brought upon him, courtesy of those that declare he has family to? Do you fill your coffers with 1,000 gold crown from the Pharaoh? You have to make a judgment call here. Now, as a merchant, money is very important to you and makes your world go round. It keeps you from your next goal. The next snafu of sorts could wind up being bought away by said amount of gold. It could save your life and your allies' lives. And it's been itching at you. Since he levied that amount of gold and he explained, I'll split it with you, you just have to turn him over. Do you speak to him? Do you ask him a bit more about this? Do you just watch him for a while, guiding him along, telling him to go to places?
I think the type of character that Donkor would be in this, he's a lot more methodical in this, because he doesn't want to make the wrong choice, because it is a matter of moral.
Definitely.
And he does think while walking around with Abasi that Abasi is not a bad person. He could have, if he was a murderer or of any sort, he could have killed them in their sleep when they were in the same room. And he knows this. He's dealt with people in his past who have definitely may or may not have tried to kill him. So he'd like to think that he's a good judge of character. So at this point, he's still just looking after Abasi, more leaning towards that he's a good person and not believing this story that was given to him.
Okay. Do you just ask him? Do you find yourself in a situation where you want to corner Abasi and speak to him on the side?
I think he would, Donkor, while they're off trying to buy supplies, I think he would try to wait and corner him another time, probably before with the rest of the group, because at this point he's not going to keep this a secret for much longer.
Okay. That's fine. You can watch on and try to determine the breadth of his character from this point forward. Abasi, I flip to the other side of the coin. You're walking, leading or allowing Donkor to lead you to each stall, which, for the record, anything that you may need, you may take a discount at an amount of 20%. So if there's something inside of the core rulebook or the player's handbook that you may need to search for that is purchasable, in Donkor's steed, you'll see that there is a 20% deficit. So go ahead and take that discount.
Okay, I will have to go through and select these items. I've just been writing them on the side going, what do I really badly need?
Okay.
I'm half listening to you guys going, my fate's in the balance. Ooh, but garlic.
Everywhere you step, Abasi, you see that Donkor has rapport with each of these merchants. And there is sort of an unspoken an unspoken sort of respect and story between them.
He's clearly been here quite a long time. He's a native of the area.
Yes.
He knows all these people. He talks more than any merchant that I have met in a safe manner about that he has a bunch of money to people that are fairly much strangers. Abasi's slowly learning that these people might not be that bad, but he's not sure if he can trust them yet. That depends on what happens with the other thing that he is now determined is in the city with him. He still doesn't know what his goal or objective in the Necropolis is, just that he was told to go there. And he's steadily going out of his mind with worry.
Okay.
But
that brings about a point to contention in this situation. Abasi, when they speak, they seem to speak circularly so. It's like they never really touch upon the point. They seem to almost consistently ask about how their day is, and they discuss wares and trade caravans, and it doesn't take long. Either they know him personally, or they pick up due to the lingo that they share, and they seem to offer discount. Now, with this sort of respect and rapport, you realize that they never really aptly declare that you get a discount. It just happens. You see a price. It seems to be like a slat of wood that has a carving into it, or you ask how much something is, and someone will come up, an assistant or a helper, and like, no, that's 3 gold, and the owner will move up and he'll wash his hands like so, say, for you, my friend, much less. And Donkor seemingly nods. It's almost mafia-esque when you're looking over it, and in a sense, it sort of sends back that vibe to you that when you were hearing Donkor talk about how he hopes he never runs into that dwarf again, you're doubting that there is validity to it.
the more that I see, the more that I hear, especially as somebody who spent their entire life, as a fucking do or die paladin doing what he needs to do for his people, it's getting more and more worrisome that I should maybe be keeping my eyes on Donkor more, as he's had contact with my father, who undoubtedly tried to buy him, but I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
Which confuses me, because he could give me to this man at any hour with little issue, so long as I let him free from my sight for a couple of moments.
There is certainly a tension between the two of you that you both sense. You can see in the way that you step, whenever there is an odd noise or a sound, Abasi's head is quick to turn to watch. His hand is also quick to move to his belt side. Donkor, you get the sense as well, but Abasi never seems to turn specifically on you. He never seems to take any negative interaction in your steed. At least at your company, for the time being. Right. You'll find everything that it is...
Getting all sweaty over here. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm like...
You'll find everything that you need, and everything, again, will have a cost. Just know that whatever the cost is, it's at a deficit of 20%. Take the discount, and that is yours. If it's inside of the core rulebook, you will not have to go far to find it. These are common items. But I feel like it's most important to note that while you're in the desert, while you are in Wati, hydration is important.
Yes.
Despite if you are an Ifrit or not, dehydration will kill a man faster than anything else out there on the open sands. So make sure you pack lots of water. For what it's worth, you guys have 4 luck rerolls, courtesy of Turbo, lots of new resubs, and Deathclaw now. So thank you guys very much for putting those luck rerolls on the table. I appreciate it. And I'm sure
I was gonna say that's a lot of reroll. We better start using some. We can be a little bit liberal with our reroll.
You can.
Yeah,
you definitely can at this point. So feel free to. Feel free. You guys only have 1 more luck reroll that you can unlock. Outside of that, if you need to use all 5 luck rerolls, well, luck be a lady, and she's not on your side this evening.
Well, shit.
yeah. Well, that seems to be a lot of this already.
So looking at the shit I want to buy, is there anything I should be particularly worried about wouldn't be available here?
I think you'll just have to express if there's something that
Okay.
you might believe would be rarer, and I'll explain to you.
because the stuff that I wrote down outside of what I already have in my kit, which is a hefty amount of stuff, was like charcoal, paper, a fishing hook, maybe some garlic, some strips of leather, some bandages, cloth masks for the garlic.
Okay.
We're going into tombs. You don't want to smell bad things.
Yeah.
A belt pouch. And then the ones I was a little bit more worried about were oil flasks, fire bombs, and fine-grained flour.
Yeah, totally. That's all available and fine.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
If you can afford it, then by all means, go ahead and purchase, especially in copious amount. Remember, there are things that you guys may overlook, but something as simple as a shovel will be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I'm just trying to price out everything right now that Donkor definitely thinks that he might need.
Excuse me. When they've been there for a half an hour,
Mhm.
I would probably, since I got some gold, try to go find them at the market.
Okay, it's not going to be hard. It doesn't take long for you to spot. One, not only does Donkor have a bit of a path that he moves throughout the asps himself, but asking around about a pommet, yeah, it's not that common. So you're going to find one of two. If you would please tell me even or odd. I'm going to roll a die and determine if it's in your favor.
Even.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
In your favor, you succeed. You are led to the correct pommet.
Ooh, I knew where that was going.
You are led, in fact, to the correct pommet. It won't take you expressly long. The pommet kind of stick out. They are thick like tree trunks and about as tall. At least one lopped off. So, you'll find our dwarven friend and Donkor in company. Neferani has spotted you. Donkor, she seems to borderline wave you down. You see, she greets you with a smile, at least the very typical Neferani smile. The floor is yours. Have at it.
Neferani, hello. It's nice to see you.
I got some. It was nice to see you too. I got some coin. I don't know what we need. Can you get double?
Define what
And
you mean by double.
Oh, enough for me. We should probably get enough for everyone.
The question I had is, I need to know exactly what Abasi would have needed. I have a list of myself. I was thinking we might need a lantern. I definitely need some caltrops, water skins, and shovels. Well, a shovel.
Okay. I have, okay, so I have food. I have, I probably need more food. Water. I don't know, what else? The shovel is a good idea. Do we need like a pick? Are we gonna be like getting stuff out of a rock?
I mean, it's always possible. We are going into a tomb.
Do we need... What do we need? This is exciting.
From my divining circle, can I maybe find some of Neferani's hair from like the stage, and then use like a long range sew thought to add to the shopping list in her mind?
Suddenly, I'm just like milk, bread, butter,
Eggs,
sunflower seed.
a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 5 full water skin.
You could have communicated that. She did say that she was hoping to gain some gold, so she could purchase things. So yeah, if that's something that you wanted to communicate to her, or you could always have it scriven down and Gidok would deliver.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'll just send Gidok. Well, the thing is can Gidok carry 5 water skins? Because
No.
like
not that he could bring you the water skins, but that he could take like a shopping list to someone.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I could have him seek out Neferani or anybody else because I think they're all there except for Jammara.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I'll attach a small bag with 5 gold pieces and a little rolled up note, or I'm gonna say 10 gold pieces that says 5 water skins and a bunch and a pound of salt. I'm running low on salt here. I keep making circles.
So is this raccoon coming to me?
Yeah, Well,
yeah, it's probably not very long after you have made your way to the compound of the asps when you're hunting for these people. You'll hear some like children probably calling out like "oh," and like some adults will kind of pull away because Giddock's got that crazy stare going on. But the fact that he is clutching onto a bag, he has a mouth that has what looks to be a rolled up parchment, and he's moving about the asps, not trying to hide. It's likely that people would see it as some kind of delivery animal. So people will try to stay away from it, but Giddock will find you, Neferani.
No.
Oh my gosh!
Seems,
Neferani is very. Is this the bird's raccoon?
Yes, it is.
yeah, it's definitely the raccoon.
So I'm gonna get down on bend down as far as I can without getting on my actual knees and be like, "Hey, buddy, hi, what's that?"
Giddock's clutching onto the scroll in his mouth, and the eyes are peering off wall-eye on both sides. You just get just spits it directly at you.
Good job! And I'm gonna pick it up. I don't care that it's wet. I'm just gonna scatter the raccoon spittle wherever it goes and unroll the scroll and be, oh, the bird woman wants some water. That's a lot of salt. But not together. So water. Did she send money?
You see the raccoon kind of shuffle. Its eyes never seem to look away from you, never quite staring at you, but never looking away at the same time. And as it shuffles, you hear the clinking of some coins in the bottom of the pouch.
So I'll reach. I'll gently kind of it's okay. Reach in and get the coin. Thank you.
As you kind of lean in, his little hands come up and kind of move through your hair, just feeling it.
I am delighted on every level here. This is the cutest thing. Do you all see this?
Oh, I see it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone so happy for this before.
The boss just I've seen it touch some really fucked up shit.
It's okay. It's very sweet. Thank you very much. And I'll just give it a little head scritch. And
he just kind of plumps back down on his butt, sort of like a dog or like a pug might, just leaning. It'll look around briefly and kind of scratch its belly, just watching.
He's definitely got the big guy pit sit. If you're how pitties sit. Yeah, he's got that thing going on, belly first.
I love it. All right, so I'll stand up and be like, okay, so the bird woman, Pilakka, I should call her Pilakka, has a list. So we need, and I'll just read the contents of the list, a shitload of salt and some water. Does it say that I have to spend all 10 gold on this?
There are no further instructions, just that you should get 1 pound of salt and 5 filled water skins.
Okay, so 1 pound of salt, 5 filled water skins, a bunch of trail rations, and a pick. And I should probably get some water skins for me as well, because I only have 1.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Anything that you can afford, you have the 10 gold too. I would believe that Pilakka is not expecting a bunch of coin back, especially since she didn't seem to write it down.
She probably already forgot about it.
That's fair.
There might be a couple foreign coin, gold coins. They're all gold, but they might be foreign currency from countries you've never.
So would you gather these things that Pilakka needs?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right, fair. You gather the reagent of salt, and you get the 5 filled water skins. And when you place it back in the bag itself is now nearly twice the size of Giddock. And when he turns to try to run away, it just kind of hits him. The force of the weight that he's now carrying, it's 1.5 times his body weight. He's not a very big guy. But he's not one to be stopped either, so when he hits that wall and he stops for a moment, he then just kind of leans into it and just starts pulling at the sands as he drags himself forward.
Well, that's a little sad, don't you think?
How fast is he going? Because if he's not going very fast, I'm going to stop him.
He moves at about 10 feet around, so not exceptionally fast. It's sort of like a toddler trying to get down the effect of walking.
Wait. You don't have to, I'm sorry, you don't have to bring all that. Why don't you...
Yadok's head turns and you just hear the...
I'm gonna relieve him of the burden and hold it myself.
Oh, okay.
I don't think this raccoon could. I don't want to kill the raccoon. I don't want to be that person.
I'm
Cat
not
will
gonna
never
lie, this
forgive
is
me.
probably the most amusing thing I've ever seen.
So I'll take it, and then I'll get double the water skins in my pick. So I'll have, I guess, what's that? 8 water skins.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
Beleaguered trash animal. Yes.
And full trash panda mode, and then I guess 5 trail rations. No, so trail rations are going to be like 1 serving, so like 3 is a day's worth, right?
1 is a day's worth of food.
Oh,
but
okay. So then I'll get 5
it's
more.
It's not really like it's sustenance. It's definitely
Yeah,
not
it's
enjoyable food.
No, this is like backup. Like we're totally screwed food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll get 5 more.
Okay.
And a pick, please.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Well, if you're going to take that, he will quickly scamper off, seeing that he no longer has the parchment or the pouch attached to him. People are kind of eyeing him very differently so, and you are still in the lower end mercantile area, so the people are watching, and raccoon fur is rare. So he quickly makes haste and starts diving between various tents.
Okay. Alrighty. Donkor at this point, knowing just about what he might need, is actually going to turn to Abasi and just give him a quick question, because it's something that he didn't notice because he was too busy blinded by beauty.
Okay.
Abasi, I have a question, and it's something that I generally seem to be more prepared about, but you might have noticed before. Did Jammara have a backpack?
That is not the question I thought I was receiving right now. She's got a bag.
But do you think it's enough for going into a necropolis?
Yeah, she kind of strikes me as a person you'd have somebody carry that for her, you know?
Well, the only person who'd be strong enough to be carrying all the materials would be you, it looks like.
Can I roll to see if I remember her having a bag?
I don't think any of us remember.
Sure, go ahead. Give me a just click on your wisdom, please. It'll roll a d20 plus your wisdom on.
Just click on the wisdom and pray. Cool.
How long has this been? Because I don't think that
It's only been a day. It's only been a day up to this point. And yeah, you rolled really well. You know, I just needed you to break 10. And yeah, you can't really recall her having a bag, but you were just kind of making sure that no one spotted you. It's important that you remained into the shadows, and she seemed to have a stark interest in the crone that was hovering over her odd stew that she was making.
You know, I'm not even sure she's got any weapons. Now I think about it, she might not have anything. I mean, I got her whole mask and some garlic. You know, I hear it smells bad in tombs, as it were, but
Abasi, it strikes you that you do recall she does have a weapon, but you're not exactly sure if it's there for damage or as a piece for entertainment. Maybe decoration. She carried what looked to be a silver blowgun on her thigh that had a spyglass attached to it.
Oh, that literally could have been for anything. You know, it's okay though. I got eyes that spent plenty of time staring, and as it turns out, I think she might be a fire elemental. So I'm not really sure she needs to carry anything. She just is fire. But I'm sure she has to drink.
Well,
we might want to bring her a bag.
You're definitely gonna need to bring her back, because to my knowledge, she wouldn't even have a bedroll, and that's important.
That's true.
I can't talk.
We all know why you're looking for a bedroll there. All right, that's fine. It's fine.
Well, I may be looking for a lot of things right now, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, but hopefully it's not me. Oh, well, anyway, we should get her a bag, or we should get her a bedroll. She didn't burn anything last night, did she? No, she can sleep in a bedroll. She get in a bedroll. Or maybe yeah, this could be a waste. We should ask her.
Well,
At this point, I think Jammara has she's done with her bath and she's now strutting down to the little. Where are we? We're at the market.
Well,
Yeah, she's
the others, some of them are at the market, but as you exit, as you find yourself exiting your room on the second floor in the open courtyard, you just hear these bizarre chants and almost hums coming from Pilakka's room.
I just picture her back in the hotel, like with her bag with a bedroll, like 19 water skins, a shit ton of rations. She's like, oh, everything's good. I've been ready for days.
I'm so ready for this.
We're back there going, did she fight naked, I think? I don't really remember much.
Oh man.
You overhear some of the most odd chants and thrums and hums coming from Pilakka's room. You know that some of your allies have made their way into the bazaar to find some necessities for this trip the next day or whenever this happens to be, whenever you're released into the Necropolis. But Pilakka remained back. She's been interesting to you up to this point. Do you investigate her at all?
I'm just gonna peek in and say, "You okay?"
Jammara, when you peek in, Pilakka is sitting in the corner with most of a circle of salt around her, and she seems to be committed to this. Go ahead and describe it for us, Pilakka. What does this look like?
If there's been any light in the room, natural or not, it has been kind of unnaturally hushed, and it is dark. Like the second you cross from one room into the next, it's just like way darker for some reason. The only real source of light from the room is like some candles arranged in sort of like almost like potentially demonic looking circle in the center of which Pilakka is sat with her cauldron. And as she walks into the room and as she's all right, she kind of gives like one of those bird like and then just kind of like. And then just like turns back around, back facing you, back to her, which by the way is using read magic just like on the area around.
Now I'm just gonna do a quick okay and like quickly leave, like slowly, like GTFO.
Sure.
Bye.
Jammara, when you turn to exit, you borderline begin backing up. Not sure you ever want to break your stare in case Pilakka seems to curse you. And you hear something rushedly moving up behind you. You hear this. Do you turn around?
Oh. Yeah.
When you turn around, Gidok is standing staring at you. He seems to be clutching onto something, and he's standing on his back legs, and he's holding on to what looks like a tuft of black fur. He's just kind of meeting you, watching your gaze. You're right in his path.
Jacked your fur.
I don't have fur.
Not your fur.
Whoa. I'm gonna walk around.
Okay.
Yeah. Just quickly walk around.
When you start to kind of like sidestep around, giving him room, he never breaks stare with you. It's sort of odd because his body stands there, but his head just kind of keeps following you around.
Oh my god.
And it seemingly just keeps going until it can't and his body starts twisting, but his legs never move. So once you're past him, he takes a couple of steps, but he still keeps watching you before he finally books it into the room, disappears. Pilakka, Gidok has returned. The bag is gone. Your money is gone. The scroll is gone. And he seems to be clutching onto a tuft of hair.
Does it appear to be the hair of the cat lady with which we become acquainted?
Yeah, your best guess is that yes.
Then she understands what she's trying to tell her, and then takes the tuft of hair and puts it into a satchel on her on her.
You got fur jacked.
What's the worst that could happen? A witch has your hair? Nah, nothing ever bad will happen there.
No,
A lot of bad will happen, but
Pilakka, as this
yes.
happens, you hear Jammara stepping away, and when you reach forward to clutch that tuft of hair, you grab it from Gidok, and he releases, allowing himself to kind of walk up behind you and shuffle back into your robes. But as this happens, you pull this tuft away. It just kind of catches your eye briefly, in its sense. A single strand of hair falls inside of your circle and wafts down into your cauldron. And as this happens, the salt animates. You begin to see a vision. Pilakka. Before you, you see the salt seem to sweep over the entire area before you. And children are playing at a bank. The salt continues to sway. Water in its sense. And there are two children. Both of them catfolk. One of them seems to play and leap. She seems very happy. You hear children's laughter in the back of your head. And the boy ushers this girl to wade into the water with him. Something occurs. The water seems to grow still briefly before you can see that eyes rise above the water. You're not sure if something is watching, if there is motivations from beyond. But there is a struggle, and it lapses forward, and they're both trying to survive. They're trying to pull above the water as much as they can. You see hands break up from above this level pool of salt from both of them, and the girl seems to make it to the bedside. She makes her way to the end of the pool. And she's clutching the sand itself, and she's breathing. You can see her exasperated body seem to reflexively respond, and she pukes up bits of water. And as she heaves, the other hand inside of the pool seems to fall below. It dips below, and the water, the salt itself remains smooth and calm. She looks out longingly to the water. And the boy was never found. With that, she stands, and she runs away.
Based on those eyes that I saw rise out of the water, does Pilakka recognize any creatures she's seen before?
Give me knowledge nature. Yeah. Yeah, they rose above, stoic and sentry-like, these crocodilian eyes. Snouts that lifted above. It was only brief, but you recognize it all too well. The boy was claimed for the river god.
Gotcha. All right. So Pilakka notes this, and she makes note to keep an eye out on God, I keep forgetting everybody's name. I'm sorry, Neferani. And she'll also try to get a general sense of the area, the sort of ley line of magic in the area, and try to see if this vision will become relevant in the future. If this is something that if the past is trying to indicate something that might happen in the future,
okay,
or if this is indeed the past.
So you wanted to seek out the ley line of sorts that runs through Wati.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is going to take a little bit of time and searching in the arcane spectrum. Do you have detect magic?
I do. You want me to roll that?
Yes.
All right.
Pilakka, as you turn your vision to the magical spectrum, it takes you a while to attune to fit what you know as the ley lines. You've had a lot of experience with this, so it takes a while for you to separate it from the weave. You can see exactly where it is, and it runs strong through Wati. However, it comes to a central point of focus. It seems to rise from the ground almost like a pillar of some sorts. And as you look onward, you kind of peek out the window to see what it might actually be, where this arcane resides. And it's inside of the walls of the Necropolis.
Mm-hmm.
It rises like a beacon of light, a lighthouse of sorts, of like almost a wellspring of ley line energy.
Pilakka is very intrigued by this. And while she's kind of like sightlessly seeing into the magical planes, despite the fact she can't see around her, she's still going to be she's going to start feeding more of Neferani's hair into the cauldron.
Okay.
And
as you continue to feed more of Neferani's hair into the cauldron, you keep plucking back from your pocket. You've become a bit careless in your movements, and when you do, you notice that a bit of your natural feathers seem to cling and drop into the cauldron itself.
it just adds to the flavor. Happens all the time.
Yeah. But something different happens. You've been seeing visions of the people around you, Jammara, now Neferani, and you actually get a vision of something that may be important to you. From the sand erupts a spire. It takes a moment for it to do so, but this spire darkens. It becomes entirely pitch black, which is new because the salt itself remains white around you, but you can see this black spire, and what strikes you is that there are it stands inside of what looks to be the walls of the Necropolis. And what is different for you, what is part of your vision, crows descend upon to this spire. And when they descend downward, you see them move over to the top, and when they flit their wings several times, you see them kind of leap down, and as they land, they stand, and instead of flitting their wings, their arms come up, and they are Tengu by nature. You also notice then, at this point, as they turn to look at their surroundings, that they have a mark that burns in their back. This mark is all too familiar for you. It is the mark of your coven.
Okay.
They walk aimlessly for a while, searching the surroundings before the vision fades. The salt peters back down.
So, the mark of my coven, did I part with them, or am I currently part of this coven, I should?
You were the leader. You started the coven. The problem is, in your story, you know that you abandoned them. You were almost a font for power for them, and you had abandoned them. They've looked for you. You knew that they eventually would. But you've been very clever in disguising yourself and hiding in your surroundings. However, every time you use your magic, they can hone in on you. You taught them their spells. You've given them everything that they know. And then you left them. Why you left them, and the way that you left them, that's not for me to say.
Pilakka most likely created this coven by accident. She would she probably was trading information and spells with the local Tengu from where she was born. So okay. I'm just learning of the existence of this coven. I'm going to say that what most likely happened was the natives to the country in which she was born probably traded enough information with her that they started to practice their own arts and started to take it in their own direction and maybe see her as a god figure, or some kind of teacher figure, when really she was just trying to trade information.
Yeah.
So this is definitely in her best interest to avoid.
Certainly.
And she sees these flocking to a spire, a blackened spire that rose in the middle of the walls.
Yeah.
That currently does not exist.
Correct. The walls around the necropolis are very tall. It would stop a regular person from just walking in. But someone who could fly?
Sure.
Correct.
Oh.
So, these are your visions, and despite whatever you add to your cauldron in the remaining hour, or this time, it doesn't seem to conjure up additional imagery. It doesn't give you any more visions. How long will you be at this?
After seeing the vision, Pilakka would likely sort of pull out of the lay vision, return to the plane, and sort of just kind of continue mindlessly brewing as she ruminated on the vision.
Okay.
And trying to figure out, trying to weigh whether or not the Coven would have come this far to find her, and but ultimately concluding like, well, this is a very potent vision. Obviously, something is coming, or they are coming in some form. And then she's gonna kind of try to like use the soup of what all that she's brewed, kind of use the leftovers as sort of like a stock, and try to brew a cure light wounds potion.
Sure. At this point, you've invested some of your own personal essence in it, so it certainly will. It may not be useful or as potent to your allies, but it will be at least as potent to Pilakka and Neferani.
I was going to say it's a cat hair healing potion.
Yeah. Pilakka's focus is on the reagents that she discovers in her surroundings, so depending on what she places in her brew, her witch's brew, it may be more potent than the common spell, and it can definitely have very niche effects. So it's certainly there and very capable. It's something that we're going to kind of test the waters of, but I like it.
I like it too.
All right. Jammara.
I feel like this is going to go terribly for Donkor.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Scales, buddy. Got a couple scales to spare.
Oh, well, maybe. He has to transform first.
Jammara.
I can wait.
You have experienced Gidok and Pilakka to the most odds of extents at this point. You didn't think you would come cross-faced with a raccoon in the earliest parts of your day.
No.
But now you find yourself in a situation where you have no money, but most of the belongings that you need, and you wanted to seek out your allies. You know that they're in the market.
Yeah.
They have expressed that they're shopping for whatever it is that they may need.
Yeah.
How do you hope to find them?
Well, I'm gonna walk down there. I don't think it's a super big market.
It's huge.
No, it's massive.
Huge.
It's enormous. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna ask a guard
Okay.
if they've seen Neferani.
All right. So, you approach a guard. He stands, Kopesh at side, monitoring the market. He sees you. He stops for a moment to size you up and down, and then his eyes move back to the market. Do you speak to him?
Hello, sir. Have you seen a catfolk around here? Is that what we call her? I don't know what we call her.
Catfolk is fine. That's certainly not a problem. They may have
I really don't know.
They may have different names for Neferani, but yeah, you would certainly say that the catfolk is just fine. He responds with, "We've seen the kind. They're all over the place."
No, that's not helpful.
Are you looking for slaves?
No.
They are good dancers.
No, I'm looking for my friend. She plays the bongos.
Bongos?
Yeah, bongos. Yeah. Have you seen
I have not seen
bongo
any of
cat
this
around
kind.
here? No bongo cats.
No bongo cats, as you call.
I can't. This is really happening.
Okay, so Donkor or Abasi? Now, which one do I ask if he knows?
I know no Donkor or Abasi.
No, I know. I'm trying to describe them, but I don't even know how to describe them.
Well, think with your head. Did you just laugh at him just like that?
Maybe.
It's
The most confused guard on the sands, like,
definitely.
You on me?
Yeah.
I just want to find my friends. They're shopping. We are going into the the Necropolis tomorrow.
Oh.
Schedule. We're gonna die. It's fine.
That guy's just like, what the fuck?
Is this some kind of prank?
Are you drunk, young lady? Yeah. After this, maybe. No.
Wait, you prank? What? You are confusing me, woman. Are you looking for someone or not?
My friends.
But who are your friends?
This is me in real life. I never get anything done. Okay. Because like, look, the things and those things. Okay, my friends. They're great people. I have a cat. I don't know.
I have a Catwoman.
I have a cat. It's not a Catwoman though. Oh my god. You guys. I give up.
Have you been drinking?
No.
You smell like the Tufen hookah.
Well, that's just
Ah,
So,
a bath.
how far is she away from? How far is this guard? And say from. I would assume that Donkor and the group are maybe at the center of the market.
You know, not close. Because of the size of the market, I'll give you guys a 5% chance.
Wait.
A
Just
5%
walk
chance
by?
of just walking by.
No, I was gonna see if we could roll a perception on it. Maybe he can. You know.
I don't know.
Potentially.
anything.
Let's see if you do. Let's
How about, wait.
claim your 5% chance.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Why
You know,
not?
in all the
What?
Friends episodes where they keep running into like the one relevant person in Manhattan, and you're like, yeah, that would just happen. We're gonna see if this is a Friends episode.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll a D100. Claim your 5% chance here.
Blow all of our rerolls on it.
I'm not, dude.
I really need to find my friends right now.
Could I be any more lost?
So Abasi, Donkor, or Neferani, who would like to take a guess on? No, that they're like, you're asking this man and he has no details for you, and they're just like hoping that
I
they
don't-
happen.
So what do you want us to roll?
No, you just I'm gonna roll a D100, and you guys have to be like 5 through 9 or
Oh,
16 through 20 or something like that. So give me a 5% range.
not it.
30 to 35.
31 to 35. Okay, here we go.
Oh!
Close, very close actually.
We're at the booth next door.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah, no, that's
Now it's like the movies when they're like, what? They turn their backs on each other
Yeah.
and walk by.
Are they?
negative. You don't have a chance of seeing her. You missed the opportunity. You just got distracted, or Abasi it was like, oh, but I need this instead. So you've moved on out. Jammara, at this point, you have drawn strange eyes, which, well, you're used to at this point.
I know. I'm like, and
Yeah.
no, I'm just okay. Go ahead.
And a man comes up, and I need you to give me a wisdom here. So go ahead and roll. Click on your wisdom. It'll be a D20 plus your wisdom mod.
Hold on. I have to find my wisdom. There it is. There. 0.
You critically failed.
No, boy.
I ain't never seen a person before. Just
Jammara,
freaking out. You have eyes? Ah!
you rolled a 0.
I know.
Is that
can't-
possible?
You can't do that on a 1 to 20.
How does that happen?
That's a negative 5%. So well done.
I'm so lost.
I would reroll.
That's like George R.R. Martin level bullshit right there.
Yeah.
You just caused the red wedding.
What the fuck?
There's no way.
Now it's the red and the purple wedding, like smushed into one, and the Dornish head smash. It is all of season 4 of Game of Thrones right there.
I think
Boom!
Your character is you.
Really, really naive.
Wow! Well, I will.
I don't know why.
Listen, Aurora, tonight is not the night that you buy a lottery ticket, my dear. Just don't do it. Okay, it's not worth
Or
it.
buy a lottery ticket, because how does that happen?
Right, maybe that's a good thing for you. It was opposite day at my kid's school. Who knows?
you never know.
No, it's not
Do I
that
roll?
alone. It's literally
I mean,
that it says
that's
right here on my end that it literally rolled a 1 both times. Yeah.
Then you have a -1 mod.
Oh, okay. Well, proof's in the pudding, and you don't recognize this guy at all. You don't.
It's
That's what he's
Donkor.
like. He steps up and he says to the guard, No, it's fine. I know this woman, and I know who she seeks. Jammara, you don't recognize this fella. What do you do?
Excuse me? Who are you?
Well, yes, ma'am. I was with the man that you travelled through town with on yesterday eve. You know, the bald man with the beard. He's a bit frail looking. Jammara, you know that he's describing Donkor.
Hold on. Oh.
Wait a fucking minute! I don't know any bald men!
Alright. Okay. You know what? You're right. That does sound like one of the people I am here with. You know where he is?
Yeah, he's right inside the marketplace. If you happen to, would you like? I could lead you to him.
That would be really nice. Let's go.
No problem.
Ready to go shopping.
Come this way then. I'll lead you on. No problem. Give me a sense motive, Jammara.
Oh, this is gonna fail too.
Oh my god.
If you critical fail, you're just getting kidnapped. It's just flat.
Your
out
friend's in
happening.
this alleyway, it's fine.
There's a van. They're in it.
Okay.
You kind of get a bad feeling. You get
I'm
a
not
weird feeling from it.
burning.
Like, you don't feel like he's necessarily lying, but you aren't sure if he's telling the whole truth.
Alright.
However, he is leading. It's not like he's got his hands on you or anything like that. He's just kind of leading the way. And he seems to have a direction in mind. It's not as if he is mindlessly ambling through the marketplace. People will nod to him, and you keep seeing that he's moving to the side or to a various tent. Give me a perception, please, Jammara. Jammara, you notice that all of the people that nod to him are they're mostly male. But what you do notice is that all of them have their face covered. They're wearing a sari of sorts that seems to cover up to the forehead, and it seems to drape over the nose to hide most of their appearance. Now, it may be that they're shielding away from the sun, or maybe they're just trying to hide whom they are. Because plenty of other people also seem to be wearing the same thing, but every single figure that he approaches is covering their face.
Okay. I'm gonna keep following and just know that I'm aware of this, right?
Okay.
I'm watching, but I'm not really scared because I'm not scared. But let's go. Let's go.
Sounds good. Abasi, I want you to give me a 10% range. Jared.
A 10% range?
Yes.
I've been listening to this in the background, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking look away until she gets out of this and gets in. 21 to 30?
50. Flat 50. You don't see anything. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for my own. Alright. Jammara, you are taken to a series of side tents that are now being blocked by a cart. And this figure points into the far back tent. He says, "He's in there. He's just right inside. He seems to be with someone at the moment, purchasing some necessities."
Oh, Donkor knows this guy.
Donkor apparently knows this guy, and he says that Donkor is in the tent. But he's a strange man.
Oh, don't listen to me.
Listen. I'm going in the tent.
Okay.
I want to know what's in the tent.
Okay.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's really... Why do you guys look so scared?
Well, if you were meeting a strange man in a public place and went, "Oh, you can't find your friends." "I know your friends. I come to this back alley and go in that tent in the back. Don't mind all the masked people." And you'd be like, "Fuck yeah, ice cream."
It's basically a white van.
Baskin Robbins.
But tent shaped. You're still at Baskin Robbins.
Oh yeah, no, it's there's no tents here, so no chance of getting kidnapped in front of a Baskin Robbins.
I'm concerned I'm the ice cream truck because I could just rope all of them. If I really
We'll see. Let's see what you got. Okay.
A lot of confidence.
Okay.
We'll see. Hopefully, I feel powerful, but I'm not powerful. I'll find that out when I kill myself my first fight.
Things that could happen.
Trip and land in your sword or your bow?
Fire tornado?
I don't know. I have fire in my hands or something. We'll figure
Gonna
that
be
out.
the oil.
Okay. As you continue to walk on, he's kind of taken his bow. His head never looks back up to you, and he's leaning in with his hands like, "This way, please." Do you move forward into the tent?
Well, the tent's open, right?
It is, but
Which
all of
means
the
I can move
tents.
around.
I mean, all of the tents at this point, they have a flap, so as to if there's a dust storm.
The flap's open. I want to look around.
Okay, all right. You can take a peek inside. When you take a peek inside, you see that there are many pillows that have been laying about on the floor around this tent, and there is an odd aroma that seems to be swelling. When you flip open the tent, it seems to hit you. It's intoxicating. Give me a fortitude save, Jammara.
Okay, hold on. There it is.
Fortitude. Very close. Very, very close. But you failed.
You mean they're gonna... Okay.
Jammara, when you
Yeah?
step into the tent, this scent
I never
hits
said I
you.
was going in, though.
Or, well, you still have pulled back the tent. You're looking inside.
Okay.
The moment that this flap pulls up, you're struck with this waft, and as you begin to smell it, it seems to dull your senses, but it lights a flame literally inside of you. Jammara, you feel loose. Things begin to have tracers of light around, and you see that people are laughing on these pillows. There is a particular person that sits atop of what looks to be a pillow-made throne. And he invites you and he says, "Come in, please. Come in."
No, thank you. Donkor's not here. I'm gonna go.
You look for Donkor.
No, thanks. Chaotic evil.
Ignore.
When you begin to say, "No thank you, Donkor's not here," you notice that there is a slur in your speech.
Oh, my.
And you feel this warmth, like, almost swelling inside of you. Jammara, do you have... Let's see. Let's actually see.
Am I drunk?
Make
Oh.
big fire. Make big
It's-
fire.
Not
If I
drunk.
remember, I'm so...
I want to see if you
Okay.
have it here.
Remember, I have lots of charisma, so I could easily probably somehow use my charisma to talk myself out of these situations. Don't ask me what I'd say, though, because I don't know.
Give me... What would you prefer? A knowledge arcana or a knowledge nature?
Knowledge Arcana.
Okay, go ahead and roll that for me. Jammara, you've seen places like this before, where you were exiled when you were a very, very small child.
Not good.
This was commonly known as a harem's tent. Generally, suitors will come in and they will claim their prize for an evening at a cost. And they generally use things to dull the senses of the women abroad. You've been struck by an aphrodisiac. Your senses are dull, but you feel extra. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Even more extra?
You feel comfortable. Your fears kind of fall away from you. And when you turn around, before you can even say anything, you're like, no thanks. He's not here. There are 2 men at your backside. 2 very large men.
What I gotta be big for? I'm big too, you know. But okay, go ahead.
You're not making this any easier on yourself. You look at it like, hey, I'm big too.
It's true. Okay.
Do you say or do anything?
Well, what are they doing? Are they stopping me from leaving? Because I'm still trying. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm walking.
Yeah,
Like, why are they stopping me from leaving?
I mean, do you want me to tell you?
You're in a rapist tent. Make big fire.
Burn.
Wait, but there's really. Listen.
Yeah, 1 second. I got.
If this was a game, I would alt F4 and say Cork.
Welcome to the tent.
I like the knees up.
I didn't think I'd be living this right now.
This definitely took a turn.
Jammara, the man says inside, no, this is not necessary. Please come inside briefly. This will only take a minute. Just speak with me, beautiful woman.
He only needs 60 seconds.
I resist.
I resist. I wanna let you know now that this is 100% not a video game. This isn't a tap B repeatedly to walk away.
This is a quick time event. Press B. Press B.
Game does not stop when you log out.
There's no pause. There's no pause.
I can't pause this game.
You ain't got time to dick around.
Jammara, you said that you want to resist. You intend to resist up to this point. How? How are you going to do that?
I don't know.
Tell me. What
I
does
mean-
Jammara, who is also big, going to do?
Well, I know I have fire, but I don't know how I have fire, where I have fire, and what I do with my
Okay,
fire.
well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at your spells. Let's see what
But
you
I
can
ain't
do here.
gonna do shit with my blowgun, so.
All right.
Just start shooting people. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
Well, tell me what you'd like to do.
I just want to burn them. I want out. This is awful.
You just want to set them on fire?
Yes.
They deserve it.
She is
Listen,
evil.
She is
I-
kind of evil. So.
People are making me angry, and I want out.
Okay, all right. You have at your disposal, you have magic missile, color spray, and burning hands.
I mean, none of these are good. I'm like a tier. I'm like a level 1 nothing.
I'm gonna let you know right now that these guys, while they may be NPCs, they die fast.
Well,
They're not
okay.
adventurers. They don't have class levels like you guys do.
Burning hands is the one that burns things, right? We'll use
Yes.
that.
You want to use burning hands? Okay.
Do I click it?
Yeah, go ahead and click burning hands.
Oh,
Burning hands.
3
It's 3 damage. Yeah. They get a reflex save. Let's go ahead and give them a reflex save. You got to bear in mind, 3 damage to these guys. That's half of their health.
Does the tent get a reflex save?
10 does not, but she's turned and she's aiming at these men. However, the cart will not be so lucky.
no!
Oh,
did
now
the-
we know where she is.
Yeah, we're gonna find her real quick. Be like, what the?
Oh no.
Okay.
Ooh.
You can also yell
guys-
flame pun or like a Dukin or something.
Flame punt.
Yeah,
These guys
you know.
do not get they are not prepared for this. They don't really know what they've stepped into. You know, these are not smart men. They're just strong arms. They're muscle for this individual back here. And you turn to them, and despite your natural grace and beauty, you pull your hands together and you just release this torrent of flame that erupts from your hands. And these thugs immediately get burned, like they're washed over with flame. It hits the flap of the tent next to where you're currently at, and it seems to catch flame. And the wooden cart that they're blocking your path with also catches. Can you imagine a wooden cart in the middle of the desert?
Did the rest of us get perception?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, everybody will get perceptions, please.
Look over there!
Fucking nothing going on here.
Oh, okay.
Remember, you guys still have 4 luck rolls, so you should just use them. You should use the shit out of them.
Well, we can
Listen,
all.
I'm paranoid as fuck,
Right.
and I'm with
No.
them. I definitely saw something.
Just as a reminder, when luck rerolls happen, for everyone that gets, so if you guys have 1, everybody gets 1 luck reroll. It's not that your team has 5 total. No, if there are 5 unlocked, your team has 25.
Oh.
That's way
Yeah.
more useful.
Yeah,
We're not
it's-
burning for the team. We're just burning for us.
Yeah, at
Right,
this point,
okay.
you guys each have 4 that you can use.
Oh, I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I rolled.
Shiny. They'll tell me. Shiny.
Yeah, perfect.
What the fuck?
Abasi, yeah, you're actually going to pick up on this. I set the DC at 25. I didn't expect anyone to get it because the market's a big place. But there is a bit of noise. And you see a gout of flame erupt over a tent.
Is
And
that,
people begin
is
to
that
panic.
normal around here? You guys do that?
No, that's definitely not normal.
Oh.
Smoke
market's
begins to
on fire.
rise, and 2 men scream as they run around. They're tearing their clothes off of their body. They're burning. One of them seems to fall and is attempting to roll. Various people come up and start kicking sand over the top of him in an attempt to dust out the flame.
So, question. Donkor's a native of this area, so can I roll a knowledge local to know if I know that area where they're running from?
Yeah, actually, go for it.
Ooh.
Do you reroll?
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll that.
Go for it.
Double. Ooh.
Do you reroll?
Nah, I'll keep it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're not sure. You've just managed to misplace yourself, and the flame is kind of keeping your attention up to this point. So you're not entirely sure exactly what you're looking at. So, do you guys bolt over there?
Abasi, forgetting himself for a minute and not being paranoid and freaked out, sees people on fire, danger, there's problems, immediately pulls his sword and shield and runs over there.
Okay.
Donkor running behind him because now he's like, the dwarf is going, might as well.
Yeah.
He's here to help. Wait, I'm not supposed to help. Keep low profile.
Neferani?
I'm gonna run too.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm trying not to smile. Like I should be serious.
Did we buy our stuff, by the way?
I mean, most of it. Probably whatever that last thing was that you were trying to acquire was just like put on hold at that point. Abasi, you're the first immediate person that's a part of your group to arrive, but guards are already there. And when you peer back beyond the flaming cart and briefly over the flaming tent that's before it's put out, they abandon the cart. It's gone. They pull it astride the rest of them, and they let it just singe down to coals inside of the marketplace. There's no saving it up to this point. But as it's pulled away, there stands Jammara. She's angry. She looks mildly intoxicated. And she says, "I'm looking for Donkor!" Her hands are on fire, and she's not screaming in pain.
I knew it. I knew she was. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Jammara, I know.
Why is she looking for me? And she's on fire. I'm entirely nervous here.
Donkor, Neferani, give me a perception, please.
Okay.
Neferani, you see that the attention has drawn quite a few people. People are beginning to amass up around this area as Jammara screams and these men call out for their lives, hoping that anyone will help them and save them. And it's at this point, Neferani, that you can see that there is another Pommet that arrives nearly 50 or so feet away, looking on as to what's happening. Donkor, you do not see this. Abasi, you do not see this. Neferani, do you say anything?
Oh, yes. Hey! Bless you. So, really quickly, that's what's drawing my attention really quickly, right? Not her. Because she seems okay with her fiery hands, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, guys! I'm gonna do like my full, like, I should be whispering, but I'm not. Guys, look! There's someone, he looks like you! I don't think I've ever seen a dude, like someone who looks like you before, and now there's another one.
Abasi, you turn to look as Neferani's words kind of strike home, and it seems to kind of fade off as she's like, hey, look, it looks like you. And your vision focuses in. She's like, do you know? And all you can see, you hone in at this point, and you both lock eyes.
I still have no spells, right?
Nope.
I no longer have. Yeah, okay.
And he just smiles. His hand moves forward, and he aims right at you. Guards bolt on by in unison. Abasi, what do you do?
Abasi needs a moment as he sees this all happening, and people are now coming for him, and he's holding his weapon and his shield still.
Yes.
And he is suddenly the angriest Pommet that has ever existed in the desert. But this isn't a fight that he is going to win alone, and there is zero reason to believe that his party would back him up in murdering another Pommet in the middle of the bazaar and his guards.
Accurate.
At this point, Donkor is going to be making his decision here, because now he sees this. He sees the Pommet. He sees that Jammara is now casting this flame. The attention's on them. He's not dumb. He's seen with Abasi. There's no talking his way out of this. He's going to now use the situation that they're in the market and cause a panic.
How do you do this, Donkor?
So he still has his transform for the day. So he's going to transform into his scale heart form, which basically makes him a werecroc.
Oh, okay. All right. And before you do that, give me a knowledge local. Donkor, you are in a very particular portion of the Asps under the control of an individual named Pasha Pook. The Pook himself is a slaver, a harem driver. And he's a man that gets everything he wants. And before you begin to erupt and turn into your scale heart form, the Pook himself erupts from his tent. He's not very happy. He's disgruntled. He's pretty upset. Do you transform now?
At this point, he definitely does. He definitely does transform, hoping that the panic will at least buy them time to escape. Because he's going to use the scare that he gets per day. He gets one scare per day once he transforms. And
Okay.
I think that also allows him. I think it scares everybody in the area and the immediate area.
And it's basically a fear effect, right?
Yeah.
I think it is.
So it's everybody. It's one level creature per 3 levels, no 2 that are 30 feet apart, and it's a medium range, so it's about 100 feet.
Okay. All right. You erupt and you let loose this scare, this fear effect that sends sends waves over the regular pedestrians, and they fall nauseous and afraid. Do you call out? Do you roar or anything like that?
He does make a sound because it's actually what happens here. He does make. It's not like fear where it could be silent. So he has to make a sound during this.
Okay.
All
right. As you let loose your roar, the Pook returns back to his tent out of fear, and waves of people begin running away from the area, guards included. Abasi, a wave of people inside of the market cut a broad swath in front of your father and his men. You find the only opportunity to run, as he's lost sight of you immediately. But I'll give you an opportunity to think of that in a moment. We're going to take our first break. This is where we take our first break, and when we return, we will determine what's happened to Jammara, Donkor, Abasi, and Neferani, and what's going on with Pilakka back at the crib. So we'll see you in just a minute. Guys, enjoy your break, and I will see you momentarily. Bye-bye.